Stand to, MechWarriors, and welcome to the first of a brand new Let's Play series we will be featuring on this channel, a game none other than BattleTech, a game that should strike fear and admiration in the hearts of tabletop gamers all over the world for generations and generations since the 1980s. BattleTech is a top-down turn-based strategy game somewhat in line with the way that Starfleet Command Orion Pirates is Starfleet Battles on the computer. BattleTech is the BattleTech tabletop game on the computer, something that I've been desperately looking forward to ever since I heard that it was coming out, and it is finally in the hands of us plebs who do not get early press release codes. So, without further ado or wasting time, let us start the character creation of our brand new campaign. A small loading time. My computer is not blisteringly fast, but decent enough for what it is that we do on here. So we will be beginning character creation from the beginning. I've actually seen a couple of Let's Players do this. However, I figured that we may as well all get into the spirit of things. After all, isn't this half the fun? You're creating your own character to create his own story in this game. That's why we play games like Starfleet Command. It's why we're going to be playing games like this.
I am Kamea of House Urano, High Lady of the Aurigan Reach, Protector of Coromadir, and the Sword of Restoration. But I am not a hero, no matter what the stories say. A hero would have sacrificed more, compromised less. A hero would have done better. You know this, of course. You were there. My father used to tell me stories about the ancient times, about the Star League, a golden age of prosperity, upheld by the great MechWarriors of old, guardians of the innocent, protectors of the peace. I always dreamed of following in their footsteps. I was too young to see the truth of things. After all, it wasn't heroism or a noble cause that won me the throne. It was hiring a mercenary, skilled enough, perhaps ruthless enough, to carry the day. Hiring you. I still don't know if you fought for honor or for the thrill of it, for belief in my cause, or just in my money. But whether it was your noble heart or mercenary mind, your actions gave us hope. That makes you a hero in the eyes of history. Whether you believe it, that's up to you.
That's about the fourth time that I've watched that intro in various forms, and it sends chills up my spine every time. Oh, the MechWarrior universe is just a fantastic place to play, and it is, as someone once described it, Game of Thrones in space, with competing political ideologies and individuals trying to gain the upper hand on each other to fight for what they believe in, or for nothing at all. So, welcome to the Aurigan Reach. The Aurigan Reach is a small kingdom in the Rimworld periphery, a region of space that lies at the outskirts of the more densely colonized inner sphere. It is home to the Aurigan Coalition, a federation organized around a parliamentary monarchy and ruled by the Urano family. For 3 generations under the rule of House Urano, the Aurigan Coalition has remained a relatively peaceful corner of the periphery, and it is here your story begins. So we will be selecting different things to start who our own in-game avatar will be. And as you can see, we have a choice of many number of places from which we came from. I already know who we're going to be playing as, well, at least the house anyway, and you can probably tell from the thumbnail we will be playing no other than the Federated Sons House Davian. The reason being, House Davian is probably the most vanilla faction you're going to find in MechWarrior. They're basically Space Great Britain / King Arthur's Knights, and that's probably who we'll start with. Each season, when we come back to do this, we will select a different starting house. But for the first one, just like for our first campaign with Starfleet Command was with the Federation, we'll go with the one that probably most people will know if they've heard of it, and that'll be the Federated Sons with House Davian. The mech warriors who hail from the Federated Sons tend to possess more finely honed skills and better equipment than their counterparts from other regions of space. They often see themselves as righteous warriors and champions of liberty, sometimes to a fault. Though nearly extinguished by the Draconis Combine in the First Succession War, the Federated Sons, a constitutional monarchy ruled by the renowned House Davian, has become arguably the most powerful of the 5 great successor states. Through skillful military campaigns and subtle diplomacy, House Davian has significantly increased the number of star systems under its controls in the last 2 centuries. You are of noble birth. Though immigrants to the Aurigan reach your family soon established a comfortable presence in a small backwater system on the edge of Aurigan space. By the time you were born, your family had become the de facto ruling nobility of the system's only inhabited planet. You were the oldest child, heir to the family's titles and ancestral battle mech, an old Blackjack BJ-1. This is where you first met Raju Mastiff Montgomery, a veteran of the Succession Wars, whom your parents hired on for a season to train you as a mech warrior. Raju was a strict but capable teacher, and you quickly became a skilled pilot under his tutelage. It was an uneventful life. Until the day after your 16th birthday when you were exiled. You struck out on your own. Your family went bankrupt. Your family died in an accident, or your family was betrayed. Now, I know each one of these items will give you a specific buff to something. You will receive a +1 to one of the 4 skills of the game, those being gunnery, tactics, piloting, and guts. Gunnery, quite obviously, how accurate you are with your guns. Piloting, how skilled you are at maneuvering your mech and avoiding tripping over your own 2 feet. Tactics, how well you can command sensors and other individuals within your alliance. And of course, guts, for health bonuses and being able to take more injuries before you go down and die. I've thought about which one to choose, and I want to play for RP reasons. I don't necessarily want to min-max whatever abilities will make us the best mech warrior. I want to create a story that's going to be pretty cool, and I'm going to select that we were exiled. Once the promising young scion of your family, you committed an unforgivable transgression and were sentenced to a life in exile. You stole away with the family's ancestral blackjack and set off to find a new life to call your own. Whether or not we were actually guilty of that transgression, I will leave up to how this campaign progresses. We will receive +1 gunnery and +1 tactics. Out on your own, you fell into the life of an Aurigan Coalition soldier, a frontier pirate, a Solaris gladiator, an Intersphere mercenary, a frontier freelancer, or a merchant guard. I gotta tell you, a Aurigan Coalition soldier does not really speak to me as being an exiled scion. After all, we're not exactly in anybody's good graces. A Solaris gladiator, flashy, and very glowy. And, you know, the history of being the cast-out scion of a noble family definitely could speak to that. But I'm not feeling it quite for this playthrough. An Intersphere mercenary, the Intersphere is far too civilized for the likes of what we're used to. After all, we come from the Aurigan Reach, an area off on the periphery barely known to more civilized folk. Frontier Freelancer could be a good place, but that's for a more noble individual, not for someone who is cast out. And a Merchant Guard? I wouldn't touch that sort of job with a 10-foot pole. Obviously, we became a frontier pirate. Tired of living under the authority of others, you fell in with a local pirate gang on the rim-world periphery. It was an unruly crew, but an effective one. Roaming the periphery afforded your outfit with a steady supply of poorly defended merchant caravans and supply depots to prey upon. While raids did occasionally evolve into combat, you quickly learned that successful piracy is mostly about being in the right place, at the right time, with the right threats, and a good show of force. Giving us +1 guts. I like this intro because, one, we're kind of going to lean a little bit on the Disney version of pirates. They're not evil, horrific murderers who just gut people and are somewhat psychopaths. No, we're going to be somewhat noble pirates. We'll steal from the rich and not really give to the poor, but we will give to ourselves. But we will be a frontier pirate. Until, years later, you crossed paths with Raju Mastiff Montgomery once again. After years of roaming the frontier, your outfit's luck eventually ran out, landing you in a Aurigan Coalition prison. Hearing of your bad turn of fortune, Raju dragged you out of jail, giving you a second chance under his mentorship. After heavy rehabilitation, you've proved your worth and were inducted into the House Urano Royal Guard. And so it is that you find yourself reunited with your old mentor, preparing your ancestral blackjack for guard duty on the coronation day of the Lady Kamea Arano. And we shall, of course, select our call sign. This has been the call sign that I have had since Jane's Apache Longbow, when it gave you several names to pick from. And it's one that I've always enjoyed, and that is Voodoo. We do that crazy voodoo that we do. Of course, our first name is, of course, Tirak. For all, that's who we are. And I shall pick the last name that I've always selected ever since my emo days of role-playing random games on the internet, McAllister. And our pronoun? Well, we are, of course, male, so it will be he. And let's pick a portrait from which we will customize someone who looks a little bit scruffy, but not insane. And I'm apparently having a little bit of a scrolling issue. Aha, I know why, because I have rudder pedals for other games that I normally play. And it does not like to... Oh, there we go. Fixed it. Let's see here. We need someone kind of scruffy, somewhat pirate-looking. Someone who looks like he's trying to reform himself, but still kind of working on it. I really kind of like this one, actually. Picked out him second time, and yeah. This guy would probably be more of like a noble scion, like family betrayed, that sort of thing. This guy looks more down on his luck. That's who we're going to customize. So, makeup. What kind of makeups do we have? Different kinds of eyeshadow. Gotcha. Not super important. Tattoos. Oh, I think I see the tattoo. Let's, hairstyle 13 is what we want to remember, just because that's where we started from. No thank you. I'm not really feeling the whole forehead tattoo look. Do we got anything cool looking? Butterflies? Nah. We're a pirate, guys. We're not that. That's actually pretty cool. I do like that. But... for a pirate, that actually would make a certain amount of sense. Look at that on my tattoo 6. Tattoo 5 is dirt. No, thank you. Over the face ones like that, not so much. Scorpion just seems too like I'm trying too hard. Big on the forehead is a no-go. No tattoos at all. Hearts? No, not feeling that one. Random lines? I think that's a barcode. No, definitely not. That would be for a much more chaotic character than us. Even though we are kind of chaotic when you think about it. I think we're just gonna go with Tattoo 0. Or, well, Tattoo 1. We'll keep it all, like, nice and plain so you can see our face and understand who we are just by looking at us. Scars? Of course we're gonna have a scar. How badly injured were we as a pirate? I'm gonna say at least a little bit. Scars, of course, give you a little bit of that, sort of, I've lived through the world. I know what it is I'm doing. What was Scar 2? Yeah, that actually reminds me of the scar that I've got. And hairstyles. We want something that says, I'm formerly a pirate, but trying to become better. What can we get with over here? Something... not so much. Actually, maybe. I kind of liked the original haircut that he had. Yeah, this. Kind of, yeah, I like this look. Because it's ruffled, it's long, it's not like a soldier's cut, but it's not crazy, it's not a mohawk. Eyebrows, of course, very important on a man. You need to have just the perfect eyebrows so people know to take you seriously. And if you have the wrong eyebrows, well, you look weak. Weak and intimidated. If you have the other wrong eyebrows, you look angry all the time. Yeah, that should be fine. Facial hair? Not digging the beard. I mean, we are supposed to be kind of scruffy, but not that scruffy. Handlebar mustache? No thank you. If we were blonde, that would work better. Kind of a fan of clean shaven. I do sort of lean on it. And all these seem kind of weird. Yeah, we're going to be clean shaven and baby-faced. With an expression... let's look more head-on to the camera. Yeah, kind of serious. Not too bad, though. Complexion, do we want to change it? No, we're not that old. We're not freckled. We're not that old. I think we're just going to leave it on complexion 1, honestly. Because it looks fine. Lighting, change it a little bit. Yeah, that gives us a more dark air of conspiracy. Oh, apparently we can lose the jacket. Gotta tell you, I'm pretty partial to this jacket. Or cooling vest, I suppose it would be. Yeah, we're gonna keep it. Keep that jacket on us. Nice, easy lining. A little bit of a neck rest there. Hair, maybe pale that up a little bit. Yeah, something like that. With the hair tips being... not quite. Yeah, we're good with that one. Eyes, of course, because we are a pirate and a betrayed science. It's got to be the steely gray eyes, the kind that look deep into your soul. And maybe a little bit paler. Our lips? Do we need to do anything for lips? We're not going to be wearing lipstick, sorry. That's not us. Just not feeling it. Maybe if we make a female character, it'll be super important, but for us, we don't really need it. So let's find something nice and neutral. Not that bright, not that dark. That'll be fine. Nice neutral lips. And for makeup, it doesn't really affect much because we're not wearing makeup. And we'll save that. Voodoo Tirak McAllister. Decades ago, your family came to the Oregon Reach from the Federated Suns. The day after your 16th birthday, you were exiled for an unforgivable transgression. Out on your own, you fell into the life of a frontier pirate. Gunnery 3, piloting 2, so we're not that great at piloting. Tactics 3, guts 3, so we've got a nice, even, open background. We're a flexible pilot, not the best at any one thing, but we know how to do it all. We can grow from there. So let's find out what's in store for us. The High Lord Tatami Arano II is dead. The Oregon Reach is left at an uncertain crossroads. Once prosperous, it is now a kingdom in decline, surrounded by powerful neighbors. Lord Santiago Espinosa, brother-in-law to the late High Lord, is convinced that the slow-moving Council of Founding Houses must be dissolved. His proposed directive would conscript their house guard and centralized power under a single throne. However, the High Lord's heir, the noble Lady Kamea Arano, is determined to rebuild the Reach without transforming it into an authoritarian state. She refuses to enact her uncle's directive and has rebuked his vehement pleas to reconsider. On the morning of Lady Arano's ascension to the throne, her loyal captain of the guard, Raju Mastiff Montgomery, makes preparations to escort her safely to the coronation procession that awaits in Cordia City. Coronation Day, Arano Summer Palace, 0853 local time. Vehicles take extra damage from melee attacks. Missiles and autocannons do more stability damage than lasers and other beam weaponry. Try to angle your attack to take advantage of your enemy's vulnerable armor locations. Yes, I am just reading the little tips. After all, we are waiting and preparing for combat. And to prepare for combat, we should, of course, review all the tips and tricks of the trade. After all, we are well trained as a BattleMech pilot. So, allow us to begin the mission.
Command interface initiated.
Camera movement, all this fun stuff. Let's select our Blackjack BJ1. Oh, more camera stuff before it'll let us do stuff. We get it? Okay, Voodoo. I've had the Espinosa refit yards rush the repairs on your Blackjack. Looks like it's all in one piece, but we should run some diagnostics on it just to be sure. Standard field tests, you know the drill. More importantly, though, I want to tell you more about the job I brought you out here to do. Now do me a favor and get that BattleMech moving. Let's see if there are any kinks in the actuators.
I'll come right out and say it, kid. I wasn't completely honest with you the other day. There's gonna be more to this job than escort duty.
He's got a way killer voice on me. I brought you here because there's something wrong in the capital. It's been too quiet since High Lord Tatami's funeral, and I'm worried about the Lady Kamea's safety after her coronation procession. Tamati, not Tatami, that's a different thing. Anyway, looks like your actuators check out. Let's conduct a weapons test. Target one of those burnt-out old urban mechs and open fire.
Like I was saying, I can't prove anything. But my gut tells me something's off. And a warrior trusts their instincts.
Ooh, my urban mech did not do well. It was just a target, but still.
Mech destroyed.
Woo! Our first kill of the day. Good shot. Your guns are in working order at least. I've been training the Lady Arano since she was 14 years old. She can be naive at times and proud, but I have no doubt that she'll be just an effective ruler. It's on us to see her safely to Cordia City. I'll rest easier once she's in the capital with her cousin Victoria by her side. Lady Victoria. Well, She's only been training under me for a single season, but she's already shaped herself into one of the strongest mech warriors I've ever seen. Reminds me a lot of you, to truth be told. Anyway, we should run a check on your targeting computer. See that drone over there? The one moving along the tree line? Put some hurt on it for me, and then when it turns, take it out with a rear-angle shot. After it's down, we'll keep moving.
Kamea's like a daughter to me, and her late father, High Lord Tamati, was a good friend.
All weapons committed.
Boom. Didn't quite kill it. We're going to have to wait for it to move along.
Victoria pulls no punches, but she's been a loyal companion to Kamea since they were kids. Aside from you, there's no one I'd rather have by my side in a fight.
That's really flattering, you know, that he picked us up
Enemy unit
out of prison
destroyed.
from being a pirate and now considers us to be one of his best soldiers. Nice shot. Now I don't know how familiar you are with Argurian politics, but the Reach was badly shaken after High Lord Tamati's death. It needs a smooth transfer of power, and Kamea belongs on the Comorman throne. Go ahead and fire up your jump jets, kid. I want to see you descend this cliff face. Aim for that patch of ground there, near the edge of the lake. So let's keep the motion going.
Engaging jump
And
jets.
bounce.
Enemy detected.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Jump jets build a lot of heat, and that was more than your engine could handle. Head on into that water. We need to get you cooled off.
One of the most important things about battle mechs and MechWarrior is heat. Everything that you do on a mech generates heat, and everything then tries to vent that heat through heat sinks. As you might imagine, similar to the heat sink in your computer, except on a much, much larger scale. And firing large lasers and autocannons and firing up rockets to move 50-ton mechs around, like that huge jump you just saw, well, that can take a lot of heat. As you can see, we're already burning up here. We're cooking, as it said. So let's step on into this water and cause all the steam to burn away this heat. It doesn't quite work, but you get the idea. Ooh, warning, plasma leak detected. Jump jet malfunction. Jump jet systems damaged. System inoperable until repaired. Oh, for the love of all the gods. This is what I get for insisting on a rush job. Not that I had much choice. The Espinosa refit yards were backlogged like you wouldn't believe. It looked like they were trying to process every single Royal Guard mech in time for the coronation. And that doesn't seem the least bit suspicious to you? There isn't any time to get your jets replaced, so we're just going to have to make do without them. Go ahead and take that mech down with a melee attack. I want to be sure nothing else is going to break down on your blackjack before we take it out on the Comorman Road. So let's charge him. So select us. V. Beat him over the head. Actually, no, ram him in the head.
Engaging physical attack.
That's the cockpit that we just hit his mech with. I just want to point that out. Good hit. At least that's solid. Alright, one last tech. I want you to take your blackjack up to a sprint and evade my attack.
Push that engine, kid. If something goes wrong today, I want to know that your mech can maneuver.
It's running time! Full speed. Ah, the blackjack. The mini rifleman. Except the rifleman's a cooler mech. Not a huge fan of the blackjack, to be honest. Ooh, lasers. Watch out for the lasers. So as you can see, we build up little evasion pips, which make us harder to hit. And then every time someone takes a shot at us, it takes away some of that evasion, making us easier for the next guy to hit. So concentration of firepower, pretty big deal. Congratulations, Voodoo. Your blackjack's as combat ready as it can be, given the circumstances. For what it's worth, I hope that my suspicions turn out to be unfounded, and that we end the day having a good laugh about what a paranoid old man I've become. But if not, then I know that you'll be ready. Alright, it's time to move out. Lady Arano is waiting for us at the mech bay.
An impressive display, Sir Raju. Of course, this mech warrior was a student of yours. I'd expect them to know their way around a cockpit.
Well, we are pretty cool. At least according to Raju. Voodoo, allow me to introduce Kamea Arano, the soon-to-be High Lady of the Oregon Coalition. Is Lady Victoria on this channel? For the time being. My father has summoned me to the Picton docks. I have a fleet inspection and a tour of the family refit yards to preside over before the coronation. Behold the responsibilities of a noble daughter. A fount of tedium that never runs dry. I know the feeling, cousin. By this time tomorrow, I'll be responsible for the entire Reach. Give my best to your father, and don't be late to the tourney. The gambling dens are already taking bets on how long it'll take me to cripple that customized monstrosity you pilot. Ha 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 ha! Bold words, cousin, but the only victory they'll be celebrating is mine. You may be ascending the throne today, but my Kaga is more than a match for your family heirloom that you call a battle mech. And in the arena, I reign supreme. Ha ha! We'll see, cousin, we'll see. At any rate, I will see you on the tourney grounds. Sir Raju, I'm ready to go when you are. Overland along the Comormont Road, as is the Arano tradition. Aye, Khmer. We'll make sure to get you there in one piece. Voodoo, fall in behind me. And remember what I told you.
Mission successful.
Woo! We have successfully completed the tutorial and the beginning character creation and introduction. The succession wars between the great houses of the Inner Sphere have continued with little interruption since 2786, which is a while now. Well, I believe we're in the 4th succession war, which means by this point, everybody's out of stuff. It's bad. Humanity has regressed quite a ways.
I remember the Oregon Reach of old, the time of the Great Expansion. I was just a boy then. Proudly we went forth, bringing the light of our coalition to so many systems. And for what? To see our great kingdom slowly waste away? Year after year, the Council deliberates while our economy falters, and the wolves bay at every door, while covetous neighbors plot against us. Well, I say, it can go no further. We are here today because if Lady Arano will not act, someone must. I know what I'm asking of you. You will face former comrades, or even loved ones, on the battlefield. I take up arms against my own niece. But remember, today we sacrifice so that tomorrow we can return our kingdom to its proper glory, to its proper strength. So should you fall tonight, know that you did so as true heroes of the Reach. To your stations, for the Directorate!
Coronation Day, Cordia City outskirts, 1322 local time. Making death from above attacks will damage your mech's legs and make it more unstable. Use this ability carefully. Death from above, if you don't know, is you use your jump jets to land on top of the enemy, with all the results that you would imagine from 55 tons of steel landing on top of your head. And I think this is where we're going to wrap up today's episode. We got a pretty nice start in there. We've learned the tutorial. We've met Tirek Voodoo McAllister, as well as the Lady Arano, Victoria, and... Wait, what? Huh? What happened here? Well, unfortunately, the game has, well, crashed on us at this point, so I'm going to have to replay the tutorial and zip on up to this point as fast as I can so we can get out the first part of that episode. Unfortunately, because of the way that my computer works, that means that this part 0 is going to be a little bit delayed, and we're sorry for that. We wanted to get this out sort of as regularly as possible, although today we really weren't originally going to release anything at all. We just kind of got caught up in excitement for the moment, so please hang on to your hats. This part will be up as soon as possible, and slightly out of order, but I think we can all live through it. Tomorrow will be the first normally scheduled episode of this. We will have episode 2 up, and we will also be having an episode on Friday. So that will make the schedule now for Mondays, Star Trek Away Team, Tuesday, Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod, Wednesdays, BattleTech, Thursdays, Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod, Friday, BattleTech Part 2, and then Saturday and Sunday, Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. You may have noticed the theme, but that's where we began, and I would be remiss if I just left all the Starfleet Command stuff out by the open. So 1 day for one day for away team, 2 days for BattleTech, and the rest of the days for Starfleet Command. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. Where do you think we're going in this campaign? Do you think the start that we picked is sufficiently interesting to keep interest? And I will see you all in the next episode.